Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on Sunrise. I'm Jamal Goff.
And I'm Naomi Popa. We're starting off things this morning with a first alert forecast. Taking a live look over downtown Columbia this morning. A loaded gun was found at Brooklyn Casey High School. The Casey Police Department confirming with WIS the handgun was discovered after administrators and a school resource officer received a tip. Now to a health alert this morning as the measles outbreak is growing with more than a dozen new confirmed cases reported in the upstate.
Yeah, the State Department of Public Health saying 14 new cases were reported on Friday. This brings the total number in the upstate to 76, with most of those cases being kids between 5 and 17 years old. Right now, 134 people are in quarantine and one person is in isolation.
Health experts say the measles is very contagious and the best way to stay protected is through the vaccine. The Sumter County school employee is facing charges after deputies say she assaulted a student at school. Marcita Walker is charged with third-degree assault following the incident at Lakewood High School. And back here in the Midlands, a new hotel is coming to the Vista in Columbia at the old Central District Fire Station. It's called The Lantern and will open for this fall. Developers are keeping the historic firehouse style of the building, which was completed in 1951. From my understanding, last time I went, which was about last year, there was different tents set up with different things you could purchase. It was all very themed. It was wonderful. Tell me a little bit about some of those other...
We do our own food inside and outside, but of course we have 26 vendors.
Starting off with the first alert out of Calhoun County, where a North Carolina man is now facing charges for his role in an officer-involved shooting. According to SLED, 32-year-old Stephen Dwayne Townsend Jr. is facing multiple charges, including assaulting a police officer and failure to stop for blue lights. Welcome back. Charleston native Tess Firm has just made history, becoming just the third Miss America teen from the state of South Carolina. She stopped by the studio last week to discuss her win and her aspirations as your newly crowned Miss America teen. Take a listen.
As the South Carolina Department of Public Safety is hosting a news conference today focused on a recent string of troopers being hit by drivers.
Now, they plan to announce a joint statewide crackdown on the move over law and distracted drivers. This after 3 state troopers were injured or killed in the Midlands. Joining me now is Sheriff Lebone. You know, Sheriff, this individual is not new to law enforcement. He has quite a history. Tell us a little bit about what citizens should know in regards to this individual. Is he armed? Is he dangerous? A candy, soda, and energy drinks could soon be removed from the grocery list for hundreds of South Carolina families collecting SNAP benefits. A new order aims to boost health outcomes by restricting what certain people can purchase. For months, a group of lawmakers has been traveling around South Carolina focused on how to modernize the state's infrastructure. And most of the work boils down to keeping up with the state's growing population. Right now, more than 80% of South Carolina's state infrastructure funding comes from 2 sources, the gas tax and vehicle sales taxes. But one of the chairs of the committee says raising the gas tax is off the table. Transportation Secretary Justin Powell notes taxpayer dollars don't go as far as they used to due to inflation. So funding will be a key component to any proposal. On the other side of the situation is the state's ACLU, or American Civil Liberties Union. The nonprofit is speaking out against what they're calling teacher intimidation. The group says they condemn political violence, releasing a statement they say, in part, quote, "We call on school districts and university presidents to model the tolerance for upsetting speech that is demanded by the First Amendment," end quote. Clemson University is set to hold a special called meeting at 2 this afternoon. Here at the Columbia Metropolitan Airport, hundreds, if not thousands, of travelers are expected to head through those doors behind me. In fact, despite the average round-trip ticket costing $850, early reports by AAA say that price tag isn't keeping people from traveling. How scary, you're in the water cooling off and then lightning hits. Tegan Billiot, one of the women in that water, tells me she's very lucky.
Taken aback. Like, it took me a second to be off the ground. I was like, holy cow, like something happened.
A beautiful Tuesday afternoon, a blue sky and beating sun. That's what drew 22-year-old Tegan Billiot and her family to the lake. Hours after their arrival.
And then all of a sudden it was just the loud, like it was like a very loud crash. It was like your ears rang, and then it was just the numbing feeling, and it was just kind of like, holy moly, like, you know what happened then.
What happened? According to the Irmo Fire District, lightning struck and hit the metal cable with buoys on it. They are there to keep swimmers and boaters separate from one another for safety.
So it was kind of like everything froze.
Sharp pains ran through Billiot's body.
When everybody came to realization, it was like everyone, like one quick thing. Everybody was gone, like rushing out the water.
Billiot saying it was chaos, children screaming, parents running, and uncertainty looming overhead. What she knew was that she needed to get checked out.
I started throwing up. Like, I'm like, something's wrong. Like, I really need something. And I was buckled in, and all I know is I heard him say we're 10 minutes ETA, and then it just went black. Everything just went completely black.
Billiot woke up after hours of testing. She needed to stay overnight because she had no feeling on the left side of her body.
It was very scary to know that I couldn't feel my body. I was like, my first thought was, am I paralyzed? Like, am I going to feel this again? Like, how am I going to do, like, live my life daily? How am I going to do things? So it was very scary to know, like, that was a possibility.
Thankfully, Billiot is out of the hospital with a different mindset about life.
I was just so lucky. Like, I feel so good to know that I'm here and I can see my nephews grow up, like, be born and grow up. I'm so happy. And it was really scary.
Now, I did ask Dominion Energy if this incident had sparked any conversations about changes to the beach or its buoys. Just minutes ago, a spokesperson told me safety is their top priority, but did not say whether changes are forthcoming.